go ahead and share some video now. So let's look at, see how organized I've got this stuff. Here we go, sharing it. Yeah, I showed you that was the look that we didn't like. Again, from what I've just talked about, you can see how we're outnumbered at the point of attack just with flow with these linebackers. We had nothing to hold them. Now, in all fairness, we didn't have any motion. If we had motion, maybe one of these guys steps out. But into the boundary, he wouldn't be very far out there. So let's go to these belly cuts here. We'll walk through some of them. So this was against a good team. Let me see if I can get you to. This is coming out of our own end zone. So, you know, I do everything wristbanded. So the way it would work is they're at the line. I've got them in a formation. This fullback would wait until he had the play to figure out what side. If we say plus, he's going strong side. If we leave it alone, he's going weak side. So this right side is my weak side in this play. And you can see there's a lot of space here. So I'm going to grab the thing and pull it. See, so we were able to gap block this one because, like I mentioned before, if in our first look, if this is my guard and this is my tackle, and they each can get themselves inside the hole and kick out or kick inside and open up the hole this way, they're just going to go gap, gap, gap. And it's a simple play because then my fullback's in the middle, so he just gets to go. So what we didn't get to was the backside linebacker here, the linebacker in the middle. We didn't get to him. He comes over and double teams. Now, in a perfect world, I would have liked for him to block back and wrap this guard to cut him off. You'll see in some other clips, that's just a nice way to block it and seal that backside. Instead, the center comes off and helps the quick guard on the right side. But still a nice play. I don't know what we get on that one, but solid. So that's one look. This is a team I really wanted to go to gun against. This is Munster, our neighbor. We hadn't beaten about 15 years, and they just beat them 2 years ago, I think, for the first time. So they're usually an odd front with a monster. So they're in a cover three, and in this case, what they've done because of alignment is their down linemen are 1, 2, 3 in the middle. Here's a stand-up end. Here's the other stand-up end, and he's on my slot. And then they put the monster to the right with the wing. So this is a pretty textbook play. This is a good one to show. So we're going to base block this left tackle. They like to slant, so it works right into it. They like to slant strong quite a bit. So he's able to seal him down. That guard comes out for the apex. And then I've got a pretty physical F in the backfield blocking their linebacker. And we don't even get touched for about 5 yards and gain about 8. So show a view from behind.
Hey, Coach, could the QB have pitched that out to your slot if he saw the overhang folding in?
You know what? We didn't give him the option for it. We just stayed. If we called belly, we wanted belly. If we called belly option, then we were in option mode.
Okay.
I mean, he could, but fundamentally the blocking's just a little different. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if he did, but we didn't really push it. We probably had too many pitches that went to the sidelines that nobody caught. That's probably why it scared me, if I was being completely honest. So you can see here, this is a good view of it. I'll get to the point where, the slant takes himself out, which this team did slant a lot, and they're odd. So that left tackle's able to wash him down. And you see my right guard, we'd like to gut block this. He gets caught up in that slant and doesn't get to the backside backer because he goes down right there. But, that's just textbook there. If I was really coaching it up, I'd tell this left guard to get a little shallower and open this up. He should be making contact with his left shoulder. Anytime we're pulling, we're going to hit with that shoulder. If we're pulling left, we want left shoulder. So, but still a solid play for us against them. And I think we come back. I think I got another clip on that team too. This is Lowell. At the time, they were number 1 or 2 in the state. Real physical defense. The kid in the back here he's at IU right now. But I thought this play gave them some problems because we were even up. We didn't have the extra guy that we were always worried about. So in this case, we get through real clean. I'll back it up again. We got a down block kick out there. So there's our gap opens. Fullback's going to get on 11 right there. I need to pause this so you can see it a little better. So here's their fullback that we're going to get on is right here. And you're going to see that. That's my fullback getting through the B gap right now. Okay. Now, what's interesting, watch this other backside backer, this kid right here, their middle linebacker is really starting almost over the center, maybe in a strong A gap. Keep an eye on him because this guard here is going to gut block and seal him out of this play, which is really what lets it go bigger. So he comes around right there. Not a blowout block. He's just in the way right here, and he's sealing him off from the quarterback. And we get a nice alley here, and I'll just let it play out. But, that's a really good defense. That's a defense that was giving up probably less than 10 points a game, I think, for a couple of years. So here's the end zone view of it. I'll slow it down so it doesn't skip. So we got a down block. There's the kick out. We're in a tight hole. If you back it up a little bit, watch this right guard. He was really good at this. He had a great feel, and the center would step, and he'd be right on his heel. And he's going to get that linebacker walled off on that inside wall. So, you guys, if you've seen my stuff, I'm big on inside wall, outside wall. And this is about as good as it gets with the fullback in the tunnel. I wish it was always that good. This is another team. This team actually this year that I'm showing lost to that Lowell team in the sectional championship. Had some big dudes, some D1 on the front line. So this time we go trips, which is interesting because they basically go to a man set because they just figured they could manhandle us in man. So anytime we split guys out. So we went to a trips just to pull the overhang out. Here's my tight end at the time, about 300-pounder. Put him over here. They still covered him. You can see the shadow. Heck of an athlete. But we're going to get the down block. There's the kick out. Kick out isn't even really that good. He was only a junior, I think, this year. He got really good as a senior. Was All-State number 52. So he's on the wrong shoulder again. But we do a good enough job on the inside wall that this kid gets through there. Now this block that you're seeing right here is my strong guard from the left side. He gut blocked to get to this backer to seal it off. And I really think that's a huge teaching point if you're running this play. It's easier for him to get there than it is for him to just release straight up because he's sitting there with a guy in his A gap who's really big. And so when we block this back with the center, he can wrap it. And it's just a great angle because he gets on the linebackers without them knowing where he came from, like right there. And now he's able to wall it up. So now watch, here's what's interesting too. We did some stuff over here. Now this was my backup quarterback who was also my wing. We told him just be an athlete, do things that are going to get their attention. So in this case, he's running like a bubble. And nobody goes with them, but they're really just dropping because they're in some type of a man coverage, and we get what we want. So that was a first down play, horrible end zone angle. Now this is the same game, same team, and this time we are in Eastern. Eastern means I'm strong right, and the earn means my Z steps out. So Eastern. Real simple, these guys know that we're strong right, and all they care about is we're strong right. Earn kicks the Z out. So here's my H. I'm thinking he's going to be, this guy's the problem because I called belly, not belly option, and I'm afraid this kid, I remember this even on the headsets, I was worried about this kid right here getting in this because they've got 1, 2, 3 guys here that I consider the triangle on the weak side. I'm pretty confident we can get to this kid because we've been doing it. And I thought this would be the guy who seems lost. He's going to get in the way. But when you watch this play out, the fact that they've got to respect belly option, he takes himself right out of the play. So we got down block, we got kick out. 54, the right guard is going to wrap around the big fella on the nose. And he's going to get to 25. Like I said, this becomes a key block if these are going to go. That wrap, gut, whatever you want to call it, fold. When he can get that release, it's real clean. When a team's in an A gap and under tight fronts, and he can get to that pursuing linebacker, because I've got 3 blockers. I've got 2 down linemen for these 2, my fullbacks on this backer, and he becomes the guy that I can't necessarily control, because by formation and threat of belly option, I've got this kid thinking about option. So watch this play. This is a big play, gets us them 1 score in the first week of the state playoffs. The kid I'm talking about here just takes himself out of it by my H's reaction. So, you know, he takes off. We get a good block by the wideout, and we get a touchdown out of it. So I'll rewind it again. I'll watch it in, well, we'll go slow motion so you'd see it. But I just really like, as a play caller, I was asked why I run belly weak. And as a play caller, it's just simple, because I can see 3 guys here that I got to block. And if I like my matchup, it becomes easy. Over here on the strong side, as a wing T team, this team was really good at messing with our angles over here with these guys folded in. These guys would stand up sometime on the end man line of scrimmage. Sometimes they dive it. Sometimes they take outside and they play games and wrap him inside with stunts and stuff. So over here, I've got 5 guys on the strong side in this formation. This is a corner, but I've got 5 defenders. I got an A gap, C gap, D gap with 2 linebackers, and it just gets muddied sometimes. So I'll, you know, and especially in this game, these kids were really good. I look to the back side of it and I like the numbers. So it becomes an easier play calling scheme sometimes in that belly side, on the weak side for me. And that's why I don't mess with it on the strong side. So here it is. I'll let it play all the way through. We really don't get great blocks, but we're making contact and we're on guys. You know, good block downfield. So that ends up being a touchdown, gets it to a 1-score game. This again was a team that had won a couple sectionals. Let me get a little tighter view of it. This time we run some motion just to try to get people to widen out. So I'm going to motion the wing. So I'm in clowns. I'm in 2x2 because I've got, let me pause this. I've got my Z attached to the tackle and my tight end's kicked out. So that's clowns for me. And I'm going to zip motion, which zip is Z in jet motion. If it was zoom, he'd go behind the quarterback, but it's zip is inside and under like jets, 3 letters like jet. So we're going to send him across. It almost looks like our jet power read from other plays, but watch the reaction by 56 when he sees it. He makes it an easy block for that tackle because he's already anticipating the jet. So he makes it easy. We get that. And then inside, we did not wrap or gut block with the left guard. Instead, we just went out base blocking the linebackers, and we ended up with a nice little run. So I'll go ahead and let that play through. So, you know, this play became a really good play for us. So now here's a belly pass. And in this one, I'm in a trip set right now. So I'm in clowns trips. So this is my strong side on the left. So this is my X or my Y. My Z's moved over to the quick side. Now, this is not a very good film to show because my F is completely lost and doesn't help on this edge because we're base blocking here, tackle to tackle. This kid's going to be coming, and we should have helped out the guard who's trying to log him. So he gets lazy, doesn't really help him. Quarterback does a little bit of escapability. This is week 3, I think, when he's on the bum wheel. But we've got a snag on the outside, wheel on number 2, and we've got an arrow by number 3. And look at the hole we get for number 1 on that snag route. It's just you know, nice sit down, easy pitch and catch, and that tended to be open. It's either one of these 2 guys is what they're going to give us almost all the time. So, but same action, looks like belly option. Here's the back view. You'll see this F should have helped out with this kid. You know, he's really late and just throws an arm. But otherwise, we get a nice angle to throw, easy throw. This one's on here because we threw to the wrong guy. It's a clean. I just like the film because it's real clean to see it. Again, we're in trips. So we've got snag, wheel, arrow. And it's really a clean look. This team only rushes 3, drops 8, and look at the flat. So we don't throw it to the flat. What I like about it is you get these kids to turn their hips to the sideline with that wheel, and we try to throw the ball deep instead of just taking, this little arrow route, which would have turned into at least 10 yards. So, the QB gets a little happy and wants to throw it deep. But you can see here's a, pretty disciplined team that was really good that year. I think they might have lost 1 game in the regular season. We get them all inside, so it's easy. And he could have turned and run this with 2 lead blockers, but instead we throw an incompletion deep instead of taking what they gave us on that arrow route. Here's the same thing, different team. This team beat us up pretty good, but we're going to go ahead and run belly pass. One's got the snag. He's wide open in the hole again. I don't know if you guys see this. If you're on a lot of wing T, we get a lot of blitzers. So these backs take off and they're going to blitz us, and it's just a great call against the blitz because you can get rid of it pretty quick. And he just sits in the hole and there's nobody there. So all off that same action. Now here it is with another motion, similar to what I ran. You saw it with Highland in the blue when we ran the motion, but ran belly. Here we're running belly pass. So that Z in motion becomes number 3. My number 2 was too close to the formation. That was a freshman. He should have been out wider to really be able to get outside quicker. So we go snag, arrow, or snag, wheel, arrow, and they just can't cover all of it. The quarterback gets hit, but it's an easy pitch and catch. He's catching. This is the sophomore who came in because of injury and doesn't really get protected very well. That's a kid playing F who was really an H, but because of injury, I had to put him in the backfield. Excuse me. So I don't know how much more I got. Here it was with just 2-man. And we did a push crack with the X here. This was a game plan issue that if we were going to come to belly pass over here, we were just going to run a quick arrow and we're going to push crack here, most dangerous man. And it's just a simple throw by the quarterback. The F did go to the wrong spot. Instead of arcing, he went into B gap. But we're able to get away with it because we get rid of the ball so fast because of all this space here. All right, now belly option. So I mixed in another belly option, I think earlier, but here's belly option. We're going to option off of the quarterback's an easy read. His option is read is just this kid. Whoever's out over the H, that's who he's going to read. This fullback again has first backer, so he's gonna go punch and get outside of that. So let's see if he does it. And I'm trying to show you against decent teams. I don't want to just show you when teams had garbage, but it's interesting because you could take pretty good teams and put them into a man conflict. This kid takes off after the pitch relationship again, and we got extra guys to block for the quarterback, and he takes this down near the goal line or something, I think. I don't think he scores, but get the idea. So let's here's another one. Coach, you talked about throwing the ball. I mean, we eventually tried to put in that if this kid could get wide enough, he didn't have to stay in pitch relationship. If he gets real wide, we could step and throw it. I'm not sure we ever got to that. We always pitched it, but that was a quarterback skill set. If I had a more talented throwing quarterback on the move, I would rather throw this a lot of times. And we weren't a very good bubble jail team either. So even in practice, I think we were about 30% against air. So we took our chances with belly option, getting those guys in space. And this kid was the quarterback could run it and take some hits. If you had a real fragile quarterback, it might be more difficult. But there was really no one to option, so he just took off, and whoever the first guy to show up was. And my F did not go to the right hole. The F went up in the hole. If he'd have come off this edge, he might have picked up this backer. We might have optioned further down the field. So with team, and I guess it just fits with what we do because teams are going to so overload strong side because on the strong side, I've got so much more stuff that can hurt them with extra guys, Buck and Power and Jet Power Reed and things like that we tend to get these kind of looks on the backside. So again, this is that same team ranked either 1 or 2 in the state at the time. And we get a big 4th down here. It's 19-6 in the 3rd quarter, 4th down at midfield. And I remember telling the head coach, hey, I got something for him based on how they've played it up to now. And here it is. So this becomes the apex player here. This linebacker we pick up with the F. So back it up a little bit. Watch the F's path. This is the F here. The F does a really good job of getting to the backer, and that's what makes this play on 4th and 6 or 7, 4th and 4. He gets a piece of number 11, and then we're optioning off of that apex player, and we make a tough pitch, and we end up getting the 1st down, really because of the fullback's block that he takes the linebacker out of the play. I didn't see if we got the gut block wrap or not. He does wrap. Yeah, so we get a piece. Here's the other linebacker under these guys. This is the right guard. So we do a good job with that, and that was a big 4th down. This will give you a little better idea of the spacing. You know, maybe he throws this instead of pitches it, but it works, and that's with his left hand. He's a right-handed quarterback. So that other view looked like there wasn't much space, but there really was quite a bit of space there. And we pick up the 1st down. And again, the F is on the outside for belly option and belly pass. That time he does do it, gets to the middle linebacker and does a good job and lets that play be a 1st down for us. This is against a team that, you know, this is Andre, and they'd been in 2 state titles in a row, came into our place, and we ended up pulling off the upset. But this is on the 2nd drive. We're up 7-0, 1st quarter, and you know, we're going to try to make them defend us outside the box because, again, they're crowding the box here. Here's 9 guys with their ears pulled back, pinned back, or 8 guys, I should say, and then here's their cover 3. We want to try to put these 2 kids in conflict all night. We get a big play out of a belly where we do the same, or bubble pass where we do the same thing. But we get a good seal block here. The guards wrapping, and since they don't really have anyone at the line of scrimmage, we're able to block on, wrap for the backer. And it's funny, the fullback does the right thing and is scraping to get to that backer, but he's already taken. And here's the apex pitch guy. And we throw it behind him, but we pick up a nice 1st down and keep a drive going on 2nd and 2, pick up a bunch. So show that a little, just full speed. You know, that's a big, strong team. Look at their linemen. They're really physical, and I just like this matchup. I got 1, 2, 3. Here's the apex off, and then we're going to force, you know, other guys to come up and make tackles, whether it's the safety coming downhill or the corner. It's just, you know, if they're that much stronger than us, I like putting them in conflict out in space, especially on the weak side. Teams flip their lines with our strength. So I might not get as physical of a defensive end and linebacker compared to the strong side if I'm looking to the weak side. Here we are in trips again. So trips, this becomes the option. The inside guy becomes the option back. He realizes pretty quick we're going to keep this one. And this is on 2nd and 18. And if the fullback had done a little bit better job of getting off of that punch bag block here, he gets hung up with his feet. He actually trips off the left guard. If he would have got right to that linebacker, you see he's a little bit late getting to him. If he could have got to that linebacker, this play goes even longer because this linebacker ends up forcing the issue and pinning him into the sideline a little bit. But, you know, it's a solid play. Again, we're getting into space with the trips out here, and they still had, you know, how many guys on the strong side, even though I didn't have a wing over there. So I like to play to this side. I think that's it for film, so I'll stop sharing. Your quick guard and quick tackle get really good at belly because they're the ones who are always running it. So they get really good at communication on whether they're gap blocking it, how they're cross blocking it, and they're always, and around here anyways, they're always going to see the same 2 guys in front of them, and they get a hold of their tendencies and things. They would even come back to us on the headsets with the quarterback's coach and say, Coach, we can run belly. You know, we know what they're doing. So not as many games are played back here as what's played on the strong side. So that's another reason why I like belly a little bit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, hopefully it helps. Like I said, mine's a little different. You know, I try to stay true to the winning team, but I got to do stuff that fit what my team does and how we do it. That's why we don't go strong side with it like some teams do. But for us, it works because I had enough stuff going strong side. So, all right, hey, I appreciate you guys. If you guys send me messages, there's something you want to talk about. If you've seen the videos or website, and there's anything you guys want me to talk about, we could do this anytime. I'm fine with it. Keeps me sharp, and I learn from you guys too. So appreciate you guys, and yeah, keep the information coming. Thanks.